Hi, I'm Linda Whitworth from the Alberta Barley Commission. Today we're going to make raspberry rhubarb cobbler. I love this dish. It's especially great in the early spring or the late summer, and you can get it from your own yard, or there's that wonderful back alley rhubarb. Just make sure you wash that really well. In the late summer, raspberries are plentiful in Calgary, and you can use them from your garden, but no matter what, year-round, you can find both rhubarb and raspberries in the frozen food section of your grocery store. So we're going to start this dish. I'm going to reserve 2 tablespoons of sugar, which will be used in our cobbler topping, and we'll set that aside. So we've measured out 1 cup or 250 mils of sugar and reserved that 2 tablespoons. In my saucepan, I'm going to put 3 cups of chopped rhubarb. I'm going to mix in my cornstarch, 2 tablespoons of cornstarch with the remainder of my sugar. By stirring your cornstarch and your sugar together, that will prevent lumps while your fruit filling is cooking. This is a good thing to do when you're making any kind of a fruit filling in a pie, in a cobbler, or anything. Always stir your cornstarch into your sugar ahead of time. When it's well mixed, just add that to your rhubarb. And we're going to add a bit of water and give that a stir. We'll bring this to a boil and let it boil for about 1 minute so that our cornstarch and our sugar stirs and we get a nice sauce on our rhubarb. I'm just going to stir our raspberry, sugar, and cornstarch mixture together. We're going to bring that to a boil and let it boil for 1 minute to thicken our mixture. Then we'll add our raspberries before we put it in our casserole dish. At this stage, we're going to gently stir in our raspberries. Don't be too quick with them. You want to just gently stir them in. Raspberries will break apart so easily, and we want them still to look like whole berries. Now we can pour it in a 1-liter casserole dish. We're using a oven-safe pie plate today. Anything you have that you like to bake in the oven with. Next, we'll be making our topping. In a large bowl, we're going to combine 1 cup of barley flour with our reserved 2 tablespoons of sugar and our leavening agents, which is 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder and, for flavor, 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Just give that a quick stir so that it's well mixed. And then we're going to add 1/4 cup of butter that's been cut into chunks, and using a pastry blender, we'll just cut it into our flour until it resembles coarse crumbs. This should only take, less than a minute. Once your flour resembles coarse crumbs, then we're going to beat 1 egg into 1/4 cup of milk. And stir that in gently just until all of our flour is incorporated. This will give us a nice tender topping for our cobbler. Okay. Our liquid is all incorporated. And now we can just drop this by spoonfuls on top of our fruit mixture before we pop it in the oven. Summer desserts like this are so easy to make. They can be made ahead of time and be all ready. They're delicious cold. They're delicious hot. They're just a wonderful way to enjoy some of the fruits that we actually can grow right here in our own backyards. Okay. We have our topping pretty well covering all of our filling. It's always so delicious when you turn out some of that topping and you get the juice from your berries with a little bit of sugar. Serve it, if you're serving it warm, it's wonderful with ice cream. Now I'm just going to pop this in the oven, and soon we'll have our raspberry rhubarb cobbler. Here's our beautiful raspberry rhubarb cobbler. I just love the color. I think it looks so delicious. It would be great to serve to company, but it's so easy you can make it for your family. Let's just see how it tastes. The barley flour on top, and we'll flip it over so we've got all that lovely fruit. And just serve it with a dab of whipped cream to our raspberry rhubarb cobbler. Join us again at gobarley.com for more wonderful recipes. Let's see how this tastes. Delicious.